أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah to all the students. I welcome you to another G4 Holy Qur'an class. We would now start the class with the recitation of the Holy Qur'an. Could I request the support teacher to please pick a student?
Assalamu alaikum. Can I request ID G4350 to come on the mic, please?
G4350. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam. And could you recite for me the following verse? Start with Ta'awuz and Tasmiyah.
Yes, please. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربنا وآتنا ما وعدتنا على رسلك ولا تخزنا يوم القيامة إنك لا تخلف الميعاد. Translation: Our Lord, give us what thou hast promised to us through thy messengers, and disgrace us not on the day of resurrection. Surely thou breakest not thy promise. Surah Al-Imran, chapter 3, verse 195.
Jazakallah, mashallah, you recited very well. Jazakallah. Moving on to Hadith. Could I have a student for that?
G4435.
G4435. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Wa alaikum assalam. Could you recite for me the following Hadith?
Yes, inshallah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidun Majid. An Usmana radiyallahu anhu qala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam khairukum man ta'allama al-Qur'ana wa 'allamahu. Hazrat Usman bin Affan radiyallahu anhu narrates that the Holy Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, "The best among you is the one who learns the Quran and teaches it." Abu Huraira has hadith number 5027.
Jazakallah, mashallah, you recited well. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
Moving on to Malfuzat. Could I have a student for that?
G4372.
G4372. Could I have another student?
Yes, G4402.
G4402. Could I have another?
G4 362.
G4 362. Another student?
G4 351.
G4 351.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Could you recite for me the following malfuzat?
We do not issue a rule that only the translation of the Holy Quran should be read. That invalidates the miracle of the Quran. Whoever says this does not want the Quran to remain in the word. On the contrary, we even say that the prayer that the prophets, peace and blessing of the Allah be upon him, asked for, they should also be read in Arabic. Others who have their own needs, etc., should be asked only in their own languages except for the pure prayer. One person said, Your Majesty, in the Hanafi religion, it is considered sufficient to read only the translation. He said, if it is the religion of Imam Azam, it is his word. Irshad Hazrat Masih Maud alayhi salam, Malfuzat Jild Som, Safar 265.
Jazakallah. I couldn't hear you properly, but mashallah, well done. Moving on to the quiz, I would like to pass on to the TA to please conduct the quiz.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Okay, so we are beginning our quiz, and question number 1 for today's quiz is, in which words will the rule of Izhaar be applied? A. Yu'minuna. B. An'amta. C. Tarmihim bihijara. Or option D. Yansurkum. So, ST, please unmute an ID for the answer.
G4 314.
G4 314. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. So, which one is the correct option in your opinion?
I'm not too sure. Is it B?
Jazakillah and mashallah, well done. Your answer is correct. Well done. Okay, let's move on to next question. Which of the following are the places where Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, received revelations of the Holy Qur'an? A. Cave of Hira. B. Valley of Arafat. C. Jabal Uhud. Or D. All of the above. ST, we need an other ID for the answer.
G4 365.
G4 365. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Is it D, all of the above?
Jazakillah. Well done. Your answer is correct. So, all of the above is the correct answer. Question number 3. Which is the shortest chapter or surah in the Quran? Option A is Al-Kawthar, B. Al-Ikhlas, C. Al-Asr, or D. Al-Lahab. So, ST, we need an other ID for the answer.
G4 348.
G4 348. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
So, what is the correct option in your opinion?
Is it A, Surah Al-Kawthar?
Jazakillah. Well done. Your answer is correct. So, Surah Al-Kawthar is the shortest surah of the Holy Quran. Well done. Next question is, how many chapters or surahs in the Quran are named after the prophets of Allah? So, here are the options. Option A is 5 surahs, B is 6, C 7, or D 8 surahs. ST, please unmute another ID.
G4 368.
G4 368. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Is it A?
Jazakillah. So let's see the answer. Unfortunately, your answer is incorrect. So there are 7 surahs which are named after the prophets of Allah in the Holy Quran. Anyways, good try, Jazakillah. Then last question for today's quiz is, in which chapter or surah the second advent of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, is mentioned? Option A, chapter number 2, Al-Baqarah, B, chapter 62, Al-Jumu'ah, or C, chapter 33, Al-Ahzab, and option D is chapter 61, Surah As-Saf. ST, we need one last ID for the quiz.
G4 351.
G4 351. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, I can see G4407 raising her hand since long. So let's try her. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Yes, the correct answer is chapter 62, Surah Al-Jumu'ah.
Jazakallah, and well done. Your answer is correct. So the second advent of the Holy Prophet ﷺ has been mentioned in chapter 62, Surah Al-Jumu'ah. Jazakumullah everyone for your participation. Now we are going back to our DT. Jazakumullah.
Jazakallah. Moving on to our lesson for today, we would be learning about the rule of idgham. So what does idgham mean? Idgham is an Arabic word which means assimilation or blending or joining and merging words together. So it involves joining and blending two words together in terms of the recitation of the Holy Quran. There are the 6 letters of idgham, huruful idgham, letters of assimilation. These 6 letters are ya, ra, mim, lam, waw, and noon. And for easy reference to remember the words, remember this phrase, yarmuluna. So these letters are divided into 2 types of idgham. Some letters of assimilation are joined with a sustained nasal sound, and some are joined without a nasal sound. So let's move on to our next slide and check out the 2 categories of idgham. Going to the first type is idgham bighayr al-ghunna. It is complete assimilation without a nasal sound. And the 2 letters merged without nasal sound are ra and lam. The second type of idgham is idgham ma'al ghunna, which is merging with a sustained 2 seconds nasal sound. So the 4 letters joined with the nasal sound are ya, noon, mim, and waw. So remember this phrase, yanmu. So we are going ahead to our next slide. How can we apply the 2 types of idgham in our recitation of the Holy Quran? So what are the conditions? So if noon sakin or tanween, when it appears in the text, we usually do a nasal sound, which we have learned. However, there are certain specific places where noon sakin and tanween do not produce a nasal sound. They are present in the text of the Holy Quran, but when we are reciting in tartil, we don't produce a nasal sound on certain noon sakin and tanween. And idgham bighayr al-ghunna, which is written here, comes under this type of assimilation. So we can see here, if after a noon sakin or a tanween appears a lam or a ra, with or without a mark of shadda, merging will take place without a nasal sound. Here we can see we have a noon sakin, and the next word starts with lam, and it carries a shadda. So we are going to ignore this noon sakin and join the alif with kasra with lam, illam. Looking at different examples of idgham bighayr al-ghunna, for the first example we have here, we have a min, one word with noon sakin, and the next word is starting with ra mushaddad, rabbihim, min and rabbihim. But when we join it together, the 2 words, the noon sakin would be totally ignored and not pronounced. So mim with a kasra will join with ra mushaddad. Mir rabbihim. Okay, so make sure the noon is not read. It's totally ignored. Mim with kasra will join with ra. Mir rabbihim. So for our second example, we have Muhammadun, the first word, and the second, Rasulullah. Muhammadun is producing a nasal sound, and it is followed by Ra mushaddad. So when we apply the rule of idgham bi ghayr al-ghunna, tanween would not be pronounced, and only one stroke of dhamma on top of dal will join with Ra. Muhammadur Rasulullah. Okay, so we are totally ignoring the tanween sound, and only one stroke of dhamma is used here. Muhammadur Rasulullah. Moving on to the second letter, lam mushaddad. Here we have hablana min, one word, one sentence here, and ladunka. Okay, and hablana is ending with nun sakin, followed by lam mushaddad. So we are going to ignore the noon and pronounce it clearly without a nasal sound. So the mim with kasra will join with lam with shadda. Hablana min ladunka rahmah. Okay, moving on to the second example we have here. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. This is from the azan, the words of azan. And without knowing the rule, most people recite it without pronouncing the noon. So the reason is the noon with the sukoon, we have it here. However, it is followed by lam mushaddad. So no nasal sound will be made while joining, and we would ignore the noon completely. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Remember that these all lam carrying a shadda would be pronounced with a thin sound. Only this Allah, lamul jalala, will be pronounced with a thick sound. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Moving on to the second type of idgham, idgham ma'al ghunna. So if the first word ends either with a noon sakin or a tanween, and the next word starts with any of the following letters of assimilation we have here, ya, noon, mim, and waw, then assimilation will take place with a long nasal sound. So in order to recall the huruful idgham ma'al ghunna, remember the phrase here, yanmu. Okay, so let's look at different examples of the letters. The first letter we are covering of assimilation is ya. Here we can see the first letter, first word is man. If it is pronounced as a single word, it is man. And the next word is ya, yaqulu. Okay, this is all separate. Man, yaqulu. However, if I was to join the two words and apply the rule of idgham ma'al ghunna, we would do a long nasal sound, not a short or clear sound, but a long nasal sound. Man yaqulu. Okay, man yaqulu. Moving on to the second example, we have the word munadiyan. Okay, this is the first word, munadiyan, and the second word, yunadi. So if we were going to join it, the tanween, the ya here carries a tanween, and the next word is ya. So a tanween followed by ya. So we are going to join it and assimilate with a long nasal sound, a sustained nasal sound. Munadiyan yunadi. Remember here that we have huruful mad. So we are going to prolong these for about 2 seconds. going to the next example, we have a noon sakin and it is followed by ya. So if I pronounce it separately, the words, it's yusala. But if I join it together, the noon sakin is followed by a letter of assimilation, ya. So we are going to totally ignore the noon and join the alif with fatha with ya. Yusala. Yusala. Remember, this is haruful mad. Wow. So we would slightly prolong this. And another point that which is very important to note is that it is not necessary that the 4 letters of assimilation, ya, noon, mim, and waw, must always carry a shadda sign. So always bear in mind that when a noon sakin or a tanween is followed by any of the letters of idgham, ya, noon, mim, and waw, whether they have a mark of shadda or not, merging will take place with a sustained nasal sound. So here are some examples that I've written. This is of Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 8. You can see here the first box. This was taken from Al-Islam website. This was written online, and the wow here you can see carries a shadda. But here, if we see here, this is from the Holy Quran, plain Arabic text. Here, there is no shadda. So here the important difference is highlighted, that whenever a tanween or noon sakin is followed by any of the assimilation letters, we will do a nasal sound. Even if there's no shadda, based on the idgham rule we have learned. Okay, so if a noon sakin or a tanween is followed by any of the ya, noon, mim, or vowel letters, this tanween would be assimilated and merged with waw like it already carries a shadda. Okay. So أبصارهم غشاوة ولهم عذاب عظيم. أبصارهم غشاوة ولهم عذاب عظيم. Okay, I have another example here from the Holy Quran. This is also from Surah Al-Baqarah. This is verse 20. As you can see, there's no shadda here. But another point that is very important to remember is that sometimes a word is ending on tanween and there is a waqf sign. Here we have a waqf sign, which is jim, waqful jais. So we are permitted to stop here or we can continue. But if we were to continue, then the recitation, we are going to do idgham here. So remember that the letter does not carry any shadda. However, if we were to continue, we are going to apply in the ya a shadda and do a prolonged nasal sound. وَبَرْقٍ يَجْعَلُونَ. However, if we were to stop here, if someone was doing a waqf, then we would not apply the idgham rule. وَبَرْقٍ. We will do a small jerk here, a moderate jerk. وَبَرْقٍ. And then يَجْعَلُونَ. But if we were to continue, because there is a tanween and it is followed by huruful idgham, ya. So ya will have a shadda on top and we will join it together. وَبَرْقٍ يَجْعَلُونَ. Okay, it is a bit tricky rule, and inshallah when we practice it together we will get a hang of it. If I could have a student on the mic so we can practice this together.
G4 317.
G4 137.
Sorry, it's 317.
317. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Could you recite for me these 3 lines? Start with ta'awuz and tasmiyah.
J. أعوذ بالله
Okay, just one thing here that we have a ra. So this alif is actually prolonging the ra. So ra with madul kabir. Okay, prolong it for around 5 to 6 seconds.
Sure. من ورائهم.
Yes.
There is a, okay, there is a.
Yes, let me just remove it. Okay.
ووالد وما ولد.
Okay, well done. Here there's an alif. So do you know which rule applies here?
Yes. So
Yes.
it's wow harufilin. So we have to prolong it for 2 seconds.
You're right about 2 seconds, but it is not haruful lean. Yes. Yes, well done, well done. Can you tell me when are you doing the work here?
If I was doing the work here, then I would do walad.
Yeah,
but
that's
I did
right.
work here. Yeah,
Yes.
I did work here. That's why I there's a sakoon on dal. I made it like that.
Yes,
That
that's
makes sense.
well done. But can you tell me which rule did you follow? Is it qalqala or huruful mad?
No. It's kalkala. Harufi kalkala. Because dal, kaf, ta, ba,
Yes.
jim, dal. So dal is
Yes.
one of them.
Well done. Excellent. That was excellent. Jazakallah. Could I have another student? Just last.
G4 393.
G4 393. Assalamu alaikum. Could I have another student?
G4 387.
G4 387.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Could you recite for me these 3 lines? Start with Da'waz and Tasmiyah.
Yes, please. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Okay, before we start, mashallah, your Da'waz and Tasmiyah was good, but I just noticed that you were pronouncing alif with ayn sound. So make sure that there is a difference between alif and ayn. Could you recite it again for me?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
Yes, that's better. Okay, this line.
هدى من ربهم أزواج مطهرة من مسد.
Okay, if I was to do a waqf here, what will happen to the dal?
We would pronounce it with just
with a jerk? A qalqala?
Yes.
So can you recite it again?
Mim masad.
Yes, well done. Could you tell me here that this ra and there's a meme, and when I join the meme with kasra with ra, would I do a nasal sound? Mir rabbihim. Is there a nasal sound or no?
There is.
Are you sure? There is no nasal sound.
Okay, there is no nasal because of
because nun sakin is followed by ra. So when nun sakin is followed by ra, we would totally ignore the nun.
Okay.
Can you pronounce it again? This line?
Yes, please. Hudam min rabbihim.
Well done. That was excellent. Jazakallah. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
So we would now go on to practice Surah Al-Furqan. I would like to pass on to the TA.
Assalamu alaikum. So Jazakallah DT. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, I can see.
Okay. So it's time to practice a few verses of Surat Bani Israel. ST, please unmute an ID for the recitation.
G4 337.
G4 337. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Okay, could you please start the recitation with Ta'awuz and Tasmiyah?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Okay, you can start from here.
وإذا رأوك إن يتخذونك إلا هزوا أهذا الذي بعث الله رسولا إن كاد ليضلنا عن آلهتنا لولا أن صبرنا عليها وسوف يعلمون حين يرون العذاب من أضل سبيلا.
Jazakallah. Mashallah, you tried very well. Okay. The first line is you recited it correctly, mashallah, but there are a few corrections in this line. Okay, do you know about this lam?
Lam Jalala.
Okay, if the previous letter of is carrying a fatha, so how should we pronounce this lam?
It can heavy sound.
Heavy sound, and I noticed you were reciting it with normal or thin sound. So how would you recite it?
Ba'asallahu rasula.
Yes, well done. And same thick sound, you should make this ra thick one because it is carrying a fatha mark. Okay. Okay. Next thing is, what should we do with this noon sakin? Should it be manifest? Should we manifest it, or we should conceal its sound? You can see the next letter and decide. Should we read it, pronounce it clearly or not?
Clearly.
No, because whenever there is the falling letter of Nun Sakin is the letter of throat, then we can pronounce it clearly. Okay, so Saad is not a throat letter, so we should conceal the sound of Nun. Ikhfa, we will do Ikhfa of Nun. An sabarna. Okay.
Okay.
And here, if you want to stop here, how will you change this Nun?
Yaroun.
Yaroun. Perfect. And when you will start reciting again, you can start from here, okay? Or here. Hina yaroun al-azab. Right? Okay. What about this nun sakin? Should we manifest it?
No, that is clear.
Clear nun, yes. We should manifest this nun or read it clearly, because the following letter is the letter of, which kind of letter is it? Letter of throat, okay? Or hurufe halqi. So try reciting from here to here.
Man
Yes.
adallu sabila.
Well done, Jazakillah. Okay. Now we are going to have our segment named as Tahsinul Qira. And again, we have another student from Al-Hafizun Academy Girls section. So ST, could you please unmute her for the recitation?
Yeah, she's unmuted.
Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. How are you?
I'm fine, Alhamdulillah. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. Jazakallah for asking. So could you please start the recitation from here
Yes.
after Tabuz and Tasmiyah?
Yes, I can. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أرأيت من اتخذ إلهه هواه أفأنت تكون عليه وكيلا أم تحسب أن أكثرهم يسمعون أو يعقلون إن هم إلا كالأنعام بل هم أضل سبيلا ألم تر إلى ربك كيف مد الظل ولو شاء لجعله ساكنا ثم جعلنا الشمس عليه دليلا ثم قبضناه إلينا قبضا يسيرا وهو الذي جعل لكم الليل لباسا والنوم سباتا وجعل النهار نشورا.
Jazakallah. Well done, mashallah. Beautiful recitation. And we are very thankful to you that you joined our class. May Allah Ta'ala make you the best learner and an excellent teacher of the Holy Quran in future, inshallah. Jazakallah for your participation. Allah
Jazakallah.
Hafiz. Allah
Allah
Hafiz.
Hafiz.
Jazakallah. Allah Hafiz. Okay, ST, please unmute and other IT so we could continue our recitation practice.
G4 365.
G4 365. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Okay, could you start after Tabuz and Tasmiyah?
Ji. A'udzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In qada la yuzilluna an alihatina laula alihatina laula an sabarna alayha wa sawfa ya'lamuna hina yarawna azaba man azallu sabila.
Jazakillah. Mashallah. Well done. Okay, how did you pronounce this word? Could you try it again?
Alihatina.
Okay, I hope you felt that you prolong this ha. So you shouldn't, because it has only a short stroke on it. Okay, a fatha letter, fatha stroke, sorry.
Ji.
Okay. Alihatina.
alihatina.
And which type of mad is it?
Ji, this is Madul Sagir, Madul Kabir. Madul
It is
Sagir.
Madde Sagir. I will show you the example of Madde Kabir if I will find any. Okay, Jazakillah. And what about this noon? Should we manifest it or conceal its sound? Is it a clear noon or not?
It's not a clear noon.
Well done. It is the noon of ikhfa because the following letter is the letter of kaf, and it is letter of ikhfa. And okay, so Jazakillah for your participation.
Jazakillah.
Jazakillah. ST, we need another ID for the practice.
G4428.
G4428. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Okay, could you please start after Ta'awuz and Tasmiyah?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أرأيت من اتخذ إلهه هواه أفأنت تكون عليه وكيلا
Yes.
أم تحسب أن أكثرهم يسمعون أو يعقلون إن هم إلا كالأنعام بل هم أضل سبيلا.
Jazakillah, mashallah. You did very well. But there are just a few corrections. Here, I think you pronounce it as maksur letter, okay, with a kasra sound, but it is having a fatha mark on it, fatha stroke on it. So we should try to avoid this kind of mistakes, okay? And rest of recitation is mashallah perfect. And could you please repeat from here to the end of the verse?
بل هم أضل سبيلا.
Okay, these two lams. Okay, you pronounce this lam with a jerk, and we shouldn't make a jerk while pronouncing lam letter, because lam is not the letter of kalkala or jerking letter. Okay, so it should be recited normally. Bal hum, just clearly. Okay. And do not prolong this lam mushaddat. It is carrying a short stroke, and the stroke of, do you know the name of this stroke?
Dhamma.
Yes, so dhamma is a short stroke. It needs only 1 second to be pronounced. So do not prolong this letter, this madmoom mushaddat letter. Adallu sabila.
Awallu sabila.
Yes, well done. Okay, Jazakillah. Okay, ST, can we have another participants?
G4362.
G4362. Assalamu alaikum. G4362. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, we can try another ID.
G4332.
G4332. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum Assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay, could you please start with the tabuz and tasmiyah?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Start from here.
ألم تر إلى ربك كيف مد الظل ولو شاء لجعله ساكنا ثم جعلنا الشمس عليه دليلا.
Well done, Jazakillah. Okay, just a few corrections. How did you pronounce this word? Could you please try again?
Ila.
Yes, and I remember last time you
Illa, yeah.
pronounce it as a mushaddad letter, illa,
Yes,
I
yes.
think. So, mashallah, you rectified your mistake. It is ila.
Ila.
And do you know the name of this stroke?
That is Fatha Ishwaiya.
Well done. And what about making a stop over here? What change should we bring in this lam?
It should be read as a sakin.
Yes, second letter, but you pronounce it as a maftu letter, as a normal mushaddad maftu letter. So how will you pronounce it while making a pause over here? Start from here.
Muttazil.
Perfect, muttazil. And what about this kaf? Please pronounce this word again.
Sakina.
Yes, and last time you prolonged this kasra. So kasra is a short stroke. We shouldn't prolong it. Okay, now you are, mashallah, pronouncing it correctly. Sakina. Okay, and rest is okay, mashallah. Jazakillah for your recitation. ST, please unmute another ID.
G4435.
G4435. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Is it 354435?
35, yeah.
G4435. Wa alaikum assalam. Please start the recitation after tabuz and tasmiyah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
Start from here.
ثم كبدناه إلينا قبدا يسيرا وهو الذي جعل لكم الليل لباسا
Okay.
الذي جعل لكم الليل لباسا ونوم سبتا وجعل النهار نشورا.
So, Nushura, yes. Jazakillah. Okay, few corrections are here. Please pronounce this bit again.
قبدا يسيرا.
Yes, perfect. قبضا يسيرا. So we learned this rule of assimilation or merging, that if a word is carrying tanween, nun sakin or tanween is followed by ya letter or ya mushaddad, then we will merge it completely or partially. What do you say?
Completely.
No, we will merge it partially. Okay, because ya is a letter which is merged partially with nun sakin or tanween. Okay, and here again, sin is carrying a tanween. Okay, and the next letter is waw mushaddad. So which rule applies on this part of the verse? Again, we have an example of assimilation. Okay, known tanween is followed by a vowel. Yes, waw mushaddad, then it is letter of assimilation. So we will again we will do partial assimilation. How? Libasan wan nawm. Okay, right. Perfect. And what about this example of assimilation or merging? Which letter of assimilation is here in this example?
Is waw mushaddad.
Perfect. We have waw mushaddad after tanween.
Tanweens, yeah, after.
So we will apply the rule of partial assimilation on this bit. Okay, Jazakillah, well done, mashallah. You tried very well. And Walaikum Salam, and ST, please unmute. How about the time? Okay, we have only just a few minutes left, so I think we should go back to our DT for the recap of our lesson. So Jazakumullah, everyone.
Jazakallah, let me just share my screen first. Okay, could I request the ST to quickly pick a student?
G4410.
G4410. Assalamu alaikum. Could I have another student?
G4331.
G4331.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. Could you recite for me the 3 lines? Start with Ta'awuz and Tasmiyah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رسولا نبيا.
Okay, could you recite it again? Remember that it's idgham rule. So Rasulan Nabiyya.
رسولا نبيا.
Yes.
وما لهم من ناصرين يومئذ نائمات.
Okay, if we were to do waqf here, what are we going to do?
So it becomes a sakin and it becomes a ha. Imah.
Yes, well done. And can you tell me, if you remember, we did a new lesson on idgham today. So what type of idgham are we applying in these red highlighted letters? Is it with a ghunna or without a ghunna?
So this is with gunna.
Yes, well done. So noon is one of the letters for idgham, which is done with nasal sound. So well done, Jazakallah. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz, thank you.
Jazakallah. So we are almost ending our class. So I would quickly recap of the lesson today. We had learned about the rule of idgham. So idgham means to assimilate or combine. And there are 2 types of idgham. Idgham bi ghayr al-ghunna, merging without nasal sound. And the 2 letters for that are ra and lam. And another type of idgham is idgham ma'al ghunna. So merging with a prolonged nasal sound, and ya, nun, mim, and vav are the letters which are merged with a nasal sound. So remember the rule that these letters don't always carry a shadda. So as I have told it, Sometimes they carry a shadda, sometimes they don't, the letters of assimilation. So just remember, if a tanween or a noon sakin is followed by the letters of assimilation, waw, noon, and ya, mim, then we will join it with a nasal sound. But ra and lam are not joined with the nasal sound, they are joined clearly. So with that, we are now going to conclude our class today. Jazakallah everyone for joining. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.